This is the legal code, and on this channel we discuss various legal topics so that you know what's going on around you. Occasionally we touch on celebrity shenanigans, but only if there's a legal theme to what's going on in their life and that you can learn from their mishaps, because they have public lives and we can always learn something from the shenanigans going on around us. And if you like that sort of thing, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course share with anyone else who you think will find value in this sort of content. Also, I want to introduce that I started a new YouTube channel. It's called Access Wellness Abroad, and it's a channel dedicated to discussing how various countries have adopted different policies to encourage wellness in their countries. And it's an opportunity for you, if you're located in the United States, to see what other countries are doing to encourage wellness and health in their society. Also, within that, I'm inviting you to partake in a trip, a wellness trip abroad to Colombia in South America. It's a 2-week trip where you will be allowed to access medical facilities, healthcare, and dental care at a fraction of the cost that you would pay in the United States. There's so many Americans, it's around almost 50% of Americans that do not have healthcare or have inadequate healthcare, that don't cover implants or crowns or any sort of complicated dental procedures, even if you have health insurance. So if you're one of those Americans who just have inadequate healthcare and you need to have your teeth fixed, this is really a great opportunity for you to sign up, come to Colombia, and get the care that you need at a fraction of the cost of what it would cost in the United States. And if you're curious about the healthcare in the United States compared to Colombia, and you think Colombia's healthcare is not as effective and they may be using prehistoric equipment, au contraire, Colombia's medicine is very developed. It is ranked 22nd in the world, whereas the United States and Canada ranked 37th, I believe, respectively. United States and Canada are ranked lower than Colombia. And most of the major hospitals in South America happen to be located in Colombia. So I just give you that as an example as to how robust and extensive healthcare is in Colombia, with 95% of Colombians having access to healthcare. The small percentage of Colombians that do not have access to healthcare live in remote areas and aren't aware of the policy that is encouraging more and more Colombians to sign up and have healthcare. But a great majority of Colombians have healthcare, and is a medical tourism destination because of the low cost of healthcare and the efficiency in both administratively and medically that it offers the world. So it's really, really a gem. So if you have the opportunity to take off 2 weeks of work and travel to Colombia to not only get healthcare, but also be immersed in wellness, my trip will be a holistic approach to wellness, and that's why I dedicated the channel to Access Wellness Abroad, because it's not just about medicine, it's also about how you are treated when you visit the medical facility. It's about sunlight, it's about healthy food, it's about without pesticides, it's about friendly people. It's about exercise, it's about walking, it's about taking time to rest. So all of that will also be included in the trip. So not only will you have the opportunity to see physicians or to see a dentist at a fraction of the cost, you'll also be able to tour and see the vibrant culture of Colombia, and also have the opportunity to work with our yoga instructor and our trainer and meditation. So all of that will be included in the trip. So it's a very, very rich trip. It's for 2 weeks, which I know is ambitious, but hopefully you have the time off of work, and it's during the summer. So we expect this trip to be around July 2023. I'm not Tell us, what was it like seeing a rheumatologist in Colombia?
It was an amazing experience. I was anxious. I had no plans of seeing a rheumatologist when I came to visit Colombia. And I wasn't feeling that great because I had missed a medication that I usually have every 6 to 8 weeks. It's a biologic and it's extremely expensive in the United States. I pay a portion. My 3 insurances pay the balance. I took a risk, I took a leap, and someone found the rheumatologist at a reputable hospital in Colombia, and I went to see him. He spoke very little English, and I speak very little Spanish, and my daughter did the most of the interpretation. I felt like a 4-year-old child while adults were speaking over me, about me. He took a thorough evaluation, assessment, gave him my medical history. I had photos with me of some of my joint replacements. And the next thing I know, I was having scans and MRIs and bone density tests and x-rays. And I went back and he put me on a specific medication, which I'm familiar with. And I have to say that I feel 50% better than I did a month ago. And I have to write to my current rheumatologist in New York to tell him that I am going to change my treatment plan.
When you first went to see Dr. Iglesias, you had hopes that he would just write a prescription for your previous medication.
Yes. That medication is available, but he looked at my hands and talked about my symptoms, my inflammation, etc. And he said, it's not working for you. And I was speechless. It has worked to some degree over the years, and I just was tolerating pain and inflammation. I've changed my diet. For all of you naturopaths who tell me to go vegan, who tell me to drink black seed oil, don't do it. Don't come at me with that. I have been vegan. I have been vegetarian. I am carnivore now. I lost 40 pounds eating steak and burgers. But I still have some inflammation. When you change your environment, you change your food, you feel better. So not only did I change the medication from the one I was taking for the last 22 years, I changed my environment, I changed my food, I get sunlight, I have water that's clean. Colombia's pipe water is cleaner than New York's pipe water, faucet water. And then, I'm not gonna lie, I had Coca-Cola without sugar. It doesn't taste sugar-free. Yes, I had the Coca-Cola sin azúcar, because that's what I need to drink the pill that he gave me. It tastes like poison, but it helped. My inflammation subsided. It's one of them drugs that some of us are gonna have to take. I have come to terms with it. I feel better.
Were you reticent to change your medication?
To some degree, but I'm familiar with the medications. That's the other part. I know all the medications. I worked in drug and alcohol. I know drugs. I know legal drugs. I know illegal drugs. I know the drugs that give you ease from your symptoms, that give you a side effect. I know about that. I've come to terms with the fact that I have a condition that I did not go into the store and buy, and this is what I live with. I've lived with the joint replacements, but I'm grateful because my brain, my mind, they work really well. And I review, I read, I research. And when I researched the doctor, he studied at Harvard Medical School. He studied in Mexico. He teaches Chile, Uruguay, Spain. He's well renowned. And he wrote a book about lupus. Lupus is a condition that primarily affects women, particularly women in the African diaspora. Autoimmune disease is wiping women out, along with diabetes, which is another autoimmune disease. Cancer, all relevant, all connected. Colombia has some amazing treatments, and I've only seen the tip of the iceberg, and I was a willing guinea pig. And like I said, I feel much better. My symptoms have decreased, and I stayed beyond the 10 days because I was willing to be that guinea pig, and I don't have any regrets about it.
What impressed you most about seeing Dr. Iglesias?
Well, he's a very professional, serious man. And even though everything was lost in the translation to me, I felt like I was in good hands. I don't need to speak the language. The language I want to feel is not verbal. It's spiritual, it's energetic, and I feel better in the mornings when I get up. I feel better when I walk on the very rugged streets. I feel better as I take my walks in the very lovely Beverly Hills-like malls. I just feel better. Is there something else?
Do you attribute that to the medication, or do you attribute that to the way of life in Colombia outside of the United States?
Well, that's a very good question. It's all of the above. Healing is not only due to medication. Healing has to do with your environment, your state of mind, getting proper rest, getting good nutrition, getting lots of clean water, healthy fruits and vegetables that don't have pesticides. I think that all of the above work together to help me feel better. Now the test is, when I go back to the States, how am I going to feel? And how long am I going to feel that way? I am going to be back in the noisy community with the noisy neighbors who speak to each other like they're going to fight. I don't hear that here. I've not seen any altercations. All of you people who thought I was going down to a war zone, I've seen no wars. I haven't seen a fist fight. I haven't seen anybody yelling at their children. I haven't seen a fight for a parking spot. And I've been here almost 10 weeks.
What would be your takeaways? What do you take back from Colombia, your talisman, as you move through the world based on being here for a certain amount of time?
Well, what I definitely will take back is the really good feeling and the hopefulness I feel that the U.S. has failed many of us, not only in terms of our medical care, but the infrastructure of the country, the governmental offices, the functions, the schools, the hospitals. Almost every system that I interface with in the U.S. is in need of great repair. The post office. I think the only thing that probably works decently is Amazon. The airlines are in trouble. People are walking away from jobs in the medical institutions. Doctors, medical professionals, nurses are leaving. Teachers are walking away. Gentrification is driving people out of communities. Those things are a sign of a decline in a society, and I don't think I want to live like that. I've been to other countries, And although I've been here the longest, I was in Italy in October. They've got high unemployment. They've got a serious problem with their economics. And as you can see, the French are in the streets protesting, millions of people every day, because they refuse to work until age 64. But I see 75-year-old women working in McDonald's and Walmart and Target in the US. Women are working for FedEx, picking up very heavy boxes, delivering them to me. There's something wrong in the US in that people are desperate and afraid. And I don't like that feeling. I don't want to live like that. Not after working most of my adult life. If I need a procedure, if I need medication, why do I have to use my credit card? Why do I have to go into debt to get medication? I don't want to live like that.
What would you say to someone who's considering medical tourism that is on the fence?
I would recommend that they stop getting in their own way. I would recommend that they think outside of the box. People are not only going to Turkey and Mexico and coming to Colombia for BBLs. People are going to other countries to get joint replacements because they've been waiting 6 months for one. They're Canadians in Colombia. They're supposed to be one of the model countries. There are Americans in Colombia. I met a New Yorker in the scan when I went to get the scan for my teeth. His teeth were jacked up. But he had to come down to get the work because he said they wanted $20,000 from him. People are going to have to see there's another way. And if you have to go to another state to go get your education, you might have to go to another country to get medical care and dental care. And affordable medication.
And that is it. Those are all my questions. So again, this is our first client who is our first medical tourist, giving you her experience, what to expect, her reticence and her anxiety, things that she experienced dealing with a chronic condition and traveling to another country to get treatment. Like I mentioned, I have a new YouTube channel, or maybe I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video, but I have a new YouTube channel called Access Wellness Abroad, where we discuss medical tourism, specifically Colombia. We will be discussing the treatments and what other countries offer in comparison to the United States as the channel grows. So head over to there. I will link the channel information in the description box. Again, it's called Access Wellness Abroad, and it has developed into a passion project, and I want to share it with you. If you're struggling with healthcare, inadequate health insurance, it's going to be a very in-depth resource guide so you can get information as to getting robust health care, some things that you have not possibly thought about. So that's what that channel is dedicated to. I will continue to upload on the legal code because the law and medical policy intertwine in so many ways. And as I mentioned earlier, that I work in trust, with trust. I build trust. I deal with asset protection for many, many clients. So Medicaid liens is something that I deal with, and helping people secure their assets and avoid Medicaid liens, the government putting their liens in exchange for medical services. I personally think it is a challenge that Americans are dealing with, that you work 30, 40 years, you pay off your home, and then you get sick, and the government says, okay, you are allowed to have health care, but only if you give up your house, you give up your assets, you pay out of pocket. So that is why I'm integrating healthcare and the law in both of these channels. So if you like that sort of thing, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, as well as don't forget to head over to my other channel. Thank my special guest,
Thank
for
you.
pouring her heart out and giving you her experience. And don't forget to check the links in the description box. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.